What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the I Formation podcast. We had a little break, but we are back now. Like LeBron said earlier, back like we never left. But before we start this, I'm gonna let him talk a little bit. How you doing today?
Hey, in the words of Cam Newton, which we're gonna talk about on the show, we're back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
We're
sir.
back, man. Affirmation Podcast, man. This is me, your co-host, with my guy Ben. This is LeBron McClain, man. Want y'all to follow us on all platforms, man. On Twitter, man. iForm Podcast, on all the platforms, Affirmation Podcast. Like, subscribe, man. Let's kick this thing off, Ben, to get started, baby.
Yes, sir. So the first thing we'll be talking about today, because last week we didn't get to talk about, so it might be a little behind for you guys, but we still need to talk about it. The
Got to
NFL
talk about it.
refs, the officiating overall this year. Overall, I mean the rules terrible. The officiating has just been terrible. It's played a part in a ton of games, just clearly.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of odd that the officiating, and a lot of people say don't blame games on refs, and I agree with it for the most part. But this year, there's been multiple games I've watched where the refs have literally change the outcome. But most importantly, the most important one we're getting into is the penalty on Cassius Marsh in the Bears Steelers game last week. Ref Tony Corrente hip checks him, doesn't throw the flag when he said he was doing the stare down, doesn't throw the flag then, but once he hip checks him, I guess wanted to say bumped into him, then throws the flag, and then the post game claims that had nothing to do with it and he wasn't going to throw the flag. If he wasn't going to throw the flag, then he would have threw it way before that. So clearly we saw what was going on there, and I just think that's terrible.
Man, what's crazy is the officials now, they started their own union. You remember that one year where I think it was Ed Hockley, the big arm guy. They went on strike for a second.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? One moment, I'm like, now I remember when my college coach, my running back coach used to say, man, these are car salesmen. I mean, these are shoe salesmen. They sell shoes during the day and officiate the game at night. But for the NFL to give them so much power, it goes again as in like, do the players have any control? Like the refs got more control over the game.
The refs have more control than the players.
than the players, man. For that ref, if anybody seen what that ref did, the ref staring my guy down. Man, I guess he's mad because he made the play and he, you know what I'm saying, did his thing. He walking back towards the sideline and he hip checks the guy. If somebody say if he gonna sit up there and lie and say that had nothing to do to it, you could tell he had something to do to it because he would have been through the flag. Which, man, I did not like it, man. Then when the guy Marsh couldn't even talk the way that he wanted to talk because if that was, I know personally, if that was somewhere like in the streets or somewhere in the club and somebody hip check you like that, you got to check that person. Like, man, what's the problem?
What you doing?
The refs can do everything. If somebody make a mistake and touch that ref ready to throw him out the game.
And they'll be gone. They'll get suspended, and it'll be a fine.
All that. It's like, man, what I want to ask the league, ask Goodell and the people that's seen that, and the people that's over the officiating crew. What's more like y'all think the officiating more important than the players that's out there? You know what I'm saying, giving their blood, sweat, and tears, and out there hitting. You know what I'm saying, making plays for the entertainment of it, and y'all putting the game in the ref hands and the ref taking it out. Justin Fields beat the Steelers that day.
He did, 100%, and that's the worst part. That is the worst part. And on top of it, what makes me the most angry about all of it is the fact that the ref made the mistake. Okay, there has never, that I know of, there has never in the past 5 years that I've been following it as close as I do, been a time where a ref was fined because he did something wrong. If the NFL easily could have cleared all this up, we probably wouldn't have even been arguing it right now if the NFL would have came out and said, bad call, he made a mistake and fined him. But no, instead, Cassius Marsh, the NFL doubles up on their dumb mistake and fines Cassius Marsh for the taunting.
They fined him. Man. Yes.
They fined him.
The taunt thing, I understand, like some people try to, oh man, he looked like I heard just Saturday, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, he looked at the sideline, he did the flip. Like this guy was on practice squad. This guy been hustling and busting his tail his entire life.
Makes the biggest sack of his career.
Made the biggest sack of his career. They just moved him up 2 days ago. He made the biggest sack really to win the game.
Yeah. Would have won the game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The biggest sack, and y'all take that away from him. And then he get hip checked by a ref. And then he talks about it in the media, and then y'all double down on another fine, knowing the man just made active roster. That's probably taking half his check. Y'all don't understand none. Y'all don't understand none of that. That's why I said it's just like. That's why I say it's the mental games the NFL play on players. You know what I'm saying? Is a mentally challenged, is a mental thing too. So that's a whole nother show, boss. You know what I'm saying, to talk about. But they need to get a hold of that ref thing, and that taunt rule. They're gonna have to revisit it again at the coaches meeting in all season.
100%. Like, that is the worst rule. And then there's coaches, Matt Nagy, who we have been pushing for him to get fired. Terrible coach for the Bears. Coming out and saying, yeah, kids are watching this game. As a little kid, for one, me would love when someone would get sacked and get stared at, or would love when someone would score a touchdown and flex or do something like that. Nobody wants to watch the robots play. Nobody wants to watch, here, let me hand you the ball. Here, let me be so proud. No, have fun. It's the no fun league.
Yes, I coach 7, 8-year-olds, and like I tell them, I like, if you go celebrate in your own frame. Celebrate, you get a sack, celebrate your own phone booth. All right, boom, hang the phone up, get back in the huddle. That's how I be. I'm like, celebrate your own phone booth, hang the phone up, hey, get back in the huddle. You know what I'm saying? But stay in your own phone booth. You ain't got to get in the player face. You ain't got to do all that.
Yeah.
The guy I felt like the guy, man, if that was me, I probably would have did the same thing. The little kick that he did 100%. Afterwards, the dude athletic as hell.
Yeah, right. That was just different. I don't know what. I'm not sure. Yeah.
You know, he looked, man. I don't. What he did, man. It was so hard. I'm like, oh my god, he about to throw the flag. He about to throw. And just threw the flag. Killed the game for the Bears. Justin Fields. You know, so I know we're gonna talk about that later with the rookie quarterbacks. But him stepping in, he played an awesome game, man, on a prime time stage. You know what I'm saying, doing the thing against Pittsburgh, man. Not to talk about them, but man, that ref had to be a Steelers fan. He must be from Pittsburgh.
Had to have money on the Steelers. That's what it seemed like. That's what I was saying. When I was watching the game, I'm like, something is involved in this. Something's involved in this.
Man, I said the same thing. I said something has to be involved, or you got a little point spread or something. I wanted to do refs. Y'all need to check in that. Do refs bet on games, or do they have?
There's been multiple refs who've been caught. Like there's been multiple refs who've been caught doing it. So that's why I'm like, man,
and I know that was bad. That call right there like affected the whole game. And I hope people see that and be like, man, and like that was crazy. And another thing, you know what I'm saying, not to even touch on the refs. I'm gonna tell you another thing, boss, we probably need to touch on for a little bit. That's like, you really don't know with it coming mid-season. You really don't know how the rest of the season go. COVID-19, if your best player gets put on COVID-19 and they not vaccinated on this day or this day, like that will affect your whole game plan.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That will affect I sat back in with when they put Jordan Love in for Aaron Rodgers when he did his little thing and all that.
Yeah.
Man, that's rough. And y'all was trying to replace Aaron Rodgers with that?
Yeah. If Aaron Rodgers plays that game, they beat the Chiefs by probably 3 scores.
Man, they beat the Chiefs. And Aaron, like this, I wanted to say this too. We're gonna talk about this on this show. The Chiefs are not back. Man, y'all, everybody up here talking about.
Man, thank you. Matter of fact, guys, just so you know, that's our 4th quarter. The Chiefs are not back. We just figured it out. That's the last. We'll be talking about that at the end.
Yes, Mom. Like, oh my God, man, I can't wait to talk about that. But just that whole that's a whole.
We'll get that later.
Yes, sir.
We'll get that later. But that is it for our 1st quarter. We'll be taking a quick break, and then we'll be jumping into our 2nd quarter next, which will be a little bit more about Cam Newton and everything he's doing now in Carolina.
Yes, sir.
For our first trivia question of the day, it will be, who ranks 2nd in the NFL in passing yards per game? Like I said, it's easy to cheat, but if you guys know, that's cool. If not, whatever. Who leads the NFL in passing yards per game? Leave a comment on this on Twitter or our Instagram. Either one is fine, and you can win. But like I said, who is 2nd? Who is 2nd in NFL passing yards per game? Now, jumping into the 2nd quarter, y'all should have known this was coming today. Cam Newton, one of our favorite players on here, y'all know how much we respect him, y'all know how much we love him, is back in Carolina. We are coming off of his game this past Sunday. Played probably 4 or 5 plays. I think he had a couple rushing attempts. a couple rushing attempts, a couple passes, but in his first 2 plays, scored a rushing touchdown first and a passing touchdown. So great to see Cam back.
Man, it was awesome, man. When I seen it, I ain't even want to look at it when it was breaking across social media, man. I think I text you first, man, and you confirmed it for me. I think I just woke up and seen it. You confirmed it for me, man. So happy for Cam, man. He just was patient, man. Sometimes you got to be patient and wait for what you want. You know what I'm saying? New England let him go. You know what I'm saying? I just thank God, man. He didn't retire like he said in his fucking Friday video with his dad when he did it in his high school. He said, man, these ain't retirement vibes. These ain't retirement vibes, man. And I'm so glad my guy worked so hard. I knew he was ready for the opportunity when they came to him, and then I saw him and the owner. I said, oh, it's on, man. Then just with them incorporating him so fast, you know what I'm saying? Incorporating him so fast into the offense, man. Got 2 touchdowns Sunday, man. You can hear it in my voice, man. Also, I know his family happy. I know his kids happy. I know everybody that's surrounded around him happy. I know them fans in Carolina happy.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Spark them back up. They giving them a chance to start this, hopefully give them a chance to start this week versus the Washington football team, his old coach. You know what I'm saying? Handle that business. I know it's a little chip on the shoulder for that. You know, it always is. And like you said, man, he back, man. He back, man. I'm happy for him. He back.
100%. And going through the list of teams in the NFL, Cam Newton could have started with the Steelers. Houston, if they picked him up once Tyrod Taylor went down. I honestly, some people might think I'm overreacting. I think he's better than both the quarterbacks in Denver. He's better than the quarterback for the Giants. He's could be the best quarterback on the Washington football team if they would have picked him up. Better than Goff for the Lions. That's 6. Like we said, he's better than Sam Darnold, so he's got that spot now. So that was another team that could pick him up earlier.
Like he said, it's like he said on I Am Athlete. Shout out to Brandon Marsh on their podcast and their platform. He said, "Hey, it's not 32 quarterbacks. I mean, 32 quarterbacks better than me, and I'm not 32. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that just and people probably say, oh, I don't care what y'all opinion is. He know how he feel about himself.
Right.
He go prove it. I just." Man, hope they got him a good game plan come Sunday, man, when he play the Washington football team, which is gonna be a tough little match, you know what I'm saying, with them. The big win they just came, the big win they just
off the
came off of, you know what I'm saying, off the Bucks and make Brady had a head coach call him out. That's crazy. So Cam, you know what I'm saying, going up prepared, I hope Rule have a nice little game plan for him and they do his thing. But they say, man, tickets already sold out the rest of the year. The town is buzzing.
That's what you want, baby. That's what you want.
That's exactly what you want for the city, man. And they said he bringing that energy, like you said earlier about Robbie Green, man. The smile on his face in that press conference.
Yeah, like you said, Robbie Anderson, he's loving playing with Cam Newton, loving it. But like we just talked about before we started the second quarter, there's videos of him on the sideline with Sam Darnold, you know, screaming at him like, "Come on, like, what are you doing?" Like. Because it looked so bad, like it was almost like it was fake. And now Carolina's sitting at 5-5. Darnold got them a couple wins. I'm not gonna. Y'all know how I feel about Darnold here. I'm not gonna go into another rant. But Darnold got him a couple wins, and now it's Cam's job to win. If Cam can play, Cam is a winner. Like I don't care what anybody says. Cam's a winner. Cam's done it his whole life. He's dealt with a ton of stuff and still persevered through it, and has won football games. You know, everybody bashed him for the showing against the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That was one of the worst weeks of my life because I was defending Cam all over social media.
But, man, me too, man. That was bad, man. Just he ran into that
tough D.
That ship, bro. That defense was rough that year. That defense was tough that year. Payne knew it too.
Yeah, for real. But like it's just Cam has won his whole life. Yet to win a Super Bowl. I'm not overreacting right here, but that defense, if they can play well, Cam has a shot at getting them in the playoffs. Right now, I think they're sitting pretty for the playoffs. I
think right now, if you're in and out of their wild card team, I think they're in that thing. I think they're like the 7th seed, with the 8th seed, whatever the last seed. So, man, I think they got a chance. The way that defense is playing, just tapping into them, man, they playing lights out. You know, flying to the ball, doing their thing. They control the game. Put Cam on the field, let them get them in a good offense, get them in a good rhythm. I just pray, man, everything go good for them, let's see what's up, man. And everything is wide open because at the middle of the season, like the season, you would have thought some teams, oh, they finna take off with it. Then boom, boom, they lose like 2 or 3 straight, and you'd be like, oh man, like what's wrong with them? And really, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just a week-to-week
NFL.
league, man. You gotta come ready to play. COVID-19 is a big thing in that, so you gotta be right. I see my guy Cam; he's fully vaccinated now. People are saying that was part of the reason New England let him go. Man, I'm gonna say this right here. We're gonna talk about this in the next quarter. New England, no, I think New England know what they're doing. I think New England knows that. Yeah, man, it's getting. That's why I said it's getting crazy in this NFL. Just how everything going. New England know what they're doing. I think they made the right decision for their organization. They made the right decision. Like Cam said on his show, they made the right decision about releasing me, so I won't have that pressure on pressure on Mac. Mac is comfortable up there, man. If y'all hear this guy and just hear him talk, man. Like, man, y'all, people should be happy for Cam, bro. We happy for you over here at the Information Podcast, bro.
Love it.
We your biggest fan over here, bro. We'd love to have you on the show, Cam. We'd love to have you.
We're posting this part. Get Cam one. We're your biggest fans. We've been calling for it all year. 10
man, we've been
Steelers.
Calling for it, man.
The Steelers we wanted you to play.
Show, man, if you watch our show, Cam, we've been calling for you all year. We was mad as hell we were mad as hell when they released you, bro. But tune in for everything. Again, Cam Newton back in Carolina, man, where he started at. Then going back to Arizona where he scored his first touchdown.
And then
just more reverence. Took that helmet off. I'm back, man. That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah,
that's
and then he gets a taunting call, of course. Terrible officiating, whatever.
But
he's back.
Man, he back, man. It's just like it was just better for I bet. Man, that was better for the guy. I bet a few fans. That's just like the season he had when he had the MVP season when he was doing the dab.
Yep.
He just innovated the game, just like Lamar doing right now, man. Lamar doing, man. Shout out to Lamar when he went back to Louisville, man. Naming the street after him, man. Putting his number up in the stadium, man. Do you know how? Man, people don't understand how hard that is. That's even watching Cam. When he didn't have no games on Sunday and him traveling on the weekend and just watching his life. He went back to Auburn and got to run up to Auburn and jump up in front of his statue. Man, he spent 1 year in Auburn, man. Yeah. I just want people to understand that the man is, man, God got them angels around that man. That
they
man
are great.
Go through a few obstacles. That man go through that. You know how to face adversity a lot. You know how to face adversity. Yep. That's why I said during this process when they released him, I was telling my lady, I was like, if anybody go through this smooth, it's gonna be Cam Newton. Like Cam Newton. How many hurdles he had.
This ain't new for him. Yeah, this ain't new for him.
Yeah, this ain't new, man. This ain't new. Just even when they played when the video on his Instagram page that I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Man, that little video of him holding his son, like just listening to everybody and all the surgeries he went through and.
Yep.
Thinking he fell off and he back now, man. Like then scored this before he scored the 2 touchdowns. Like it's like a movie. It's like a movie, boss. It's
exactly. It is, and that was so awesome. Like shout out to Coach Rule because earlier in the year, I think we were talking about how good of a coach Rule is. But I just kept saying I think Darnold's holding the Panthers back. But now, I think Coach Rule with Joe Brady and those guys in that defense. If Cam can play like I think he can and like we think he can, I think Cam gets in the playoffs. Like let's look at their schedule. So they play Washington this week. I think that's a win.
Okay, win.
Miami week 12. I think that's a win.
That's a win. Hey, go be a tough defense.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah,
I think Miami just off a high with the Ravens. Yeah. I don't think they had that.
Yeah, that was their Super Bowl. That was their Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then a bye, and then week 14 they play the Falcons. I think that's a win too.
That's a win.
So that's 3 straight wins, probably putting them in the playoffs. And then week 15 they go to Buffalo. That's a loss.
Probably lose the Buffalo their cold game, but hey, might get busy with that defense. Might be a defensive game.
I like that.
Josh can't throw. They got to run the ball too. Cam gonna go run the ball with 22, and you know what I'm saying, one back there, and that RPO for it. I mean that it finna be crazy now. It finna be crazy.
And that's not if that was if we were in week 1, I would say, oh yeah, Buffalo's got that. Buffalo lost 9-6 to the Jaguars. Like the NFL, so
Yes.
I can't even say, yeah, that's definitely a loss to
Yep.
Buffalo.
And
Who knows?
Jaguars just hit him in the mouth. Just hit
Yeah.
him in the mouth.
Yep.
Just play defense and that's what the Panthers do. What's
Yep.
the next game
100%.
after that?
At home versus the Bucks. I think, and they got the Bucks at home week 16, and then week 18 they're at Tampa Bay. I think they split. I think they beat them at home and lose away.
And Tampa Bay they gonna need them games too, and they can split and easily could get both of them. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy how you talking about the Bucks now, and like they got their whole starters back from their championship team, but injury bug, COVID,
the defense,
everything is crazy. Man, that's crazy. Rob Gronkowski still hurt, man. Like, what's really wrong? What's going on?
Yep. But then week 17, they play the Saints in New Orleans. I think they upset the Saints in New Orleans. Jameis Winston's out. Taysom Hill's in for 3 plays. Simeon's just not. I don't think he's it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get it. And I think the momentum of that defense going into that game, like you just said, bro. We're gonna tap back in on this show and see if we right, because I hope it goes like that. But like them games you just pointed out, they're gonna be some key games for the Panthers, but they can do it. They can do it.
They can do it. 100%.
Really getting that game, winning that game on the road versus Arizona, man. You can tell like they gotta get Kyler Murray in that thing, because they'll be down a few games if Aaron Rodgers play. Aaron Rodgers play. Ooh, Cardinals, y'all be back a little bit. That NFC West ain't the NFC West ain't looking too strong right now. It's like the 49ers the strongest one now.
Really. They're beating Stafford looks terrible. And we at the beginning of the year, it was no disrespect to Stafford, but we said, how many playoffs games has he won? 0. So I don't know why the Rams think, okay, Stafford's it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to call bad. Stafford's an upgrade probably, but he has not won a playoff game. And he just threw more passes to the 49ers than he did to the Rams the other night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not pretty.
You feel me? Man, we gonna touch on that. We gonna touch back in on that on them boys, bro. We gonna go to halftime. Oh, y'all see, we hype, we ready. Oh, if y'all look at our shows, man, we had the NFC West as one of the hottest divisions, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL, and they looking pretty. Ooh, you pull a few things away from them, and they look kind of shaky.
Yeah,
like
100%.
They tires start shaking a little bit.
Right. No, for real. But that is it for the second quarter. We'll be jumping into halftime, and then we'll jump into our third quarter. We'll be talking a little bit about rookie quarterbacks and tonight's game, and then the fourth quarter we'll be jumping into after that. Our second trivia question of the day will be, who leads the NFL in tackles? It's a tough one. Probably, like I said, you guys probably cheap, but it's a tough question. But if you guys know, try it. Who leads the NFL in tackles? Now, jumping into the third quarter, we'll be starting off with our thoughts on tonight's Thursday night football game, and then after that, we'll talk a little bit about rookie quarterbacks. But tonight, the Patriots are playing the Falcons in Atlanta, and the point spread the point spread is 6.5. So I would say it'll be around that. I'm gonna go Patriots 34. Patriots 34, Falcons 26. I think it'll be an 8-point game. I think the Falcons will have the ball late with a chance to drive down, and Ryan will just throw an interception. They won't score, but I think it'll be an 8-point game. I think the Patriots come out on top.
Man, yeah, I got the Patriots also, but I got it in another, like, I got it in another short week. I think they're gonna come in with a dope game plan. I know they probably been getting ready since last week with Belichick and his mindset. The way that defense been playing, the last 2 games, they only gave up 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. The last 4 games, man, they've been outscoring everybody 150-50. You know what I'm saying? Mac Jones looking like a vet. You know what I'm saying? Him being a rookie quarterback, him looking like a vet. Especially, I'm not even talking about on first and second down, because they running the ball, you know what I'm saying, so good. On third down, he's so efficient, you know what I'm saying, passing the ball, dumping the ball here and there. So I got him in a route. I got him in a route like 38-7 tonight. Gonna be a big time game. And just like we talked about earlier, man, it's just like I feel like it's tough to travel on a short week. I know they traveling down to Atlanta, but the game, you know what I'm saying, inside the dome, I know they probably have it closed tonight. If it's cold or anything, I know they probably have it closed. You know what I'm saying? Short week. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with a guy that I know can do a game plan like that.
Yeah. No, for
a
real.
game plan like that, both sides, you know what I'm saying? So I know the staff gonna be ready. I think Mac Jones gonna have a you know what I'm saying, good game night. Good thing that he coming south, man. And folks, you know, from Tennessee and everything, folks get to come over. You know, I
Right.
think Kentucky or Tennessee, and folks get to come over, man, and watch them play. So that's good.
No, yeah, for real. And now that we're talking about that, we'll jump into our rookie talks. Mac Jones has been it. I like the big thing was he was the most NFL ready coming in the draft. So a lot of people,
Yeah.
that's the argument when a lot of people are saying if they redrafted, where would Mac Jones go? But they're saying, well, we already knew he
Where
was
would you
going to
take
be.
him? Where would you take him? Where would you take him if you was one of the GMs? Where would you take him?
I'll probably
I'm
take
gonna
him
tell
too.
you.
I'll probably take him
I
too.
said, yep. I said the same thing. I said the same. I said, man, y'all messed up.
Yeah, no, for
I
real,
said
for real. Yeah,
a lot of y'all messed up, man. The Jets, y'all blew it,
clowns,
man.
terrible.
Y'all, I
That's
don't know what y'all was looking at.
yeah.
Y'all thinking he the short. Y'all thinking he the short Mahomes. Y'all thinking that gonna work in the NFL. Look at
Yeah, well,
Mahomes. Mahomes
he's
had to
really good
calm it
throwing.
down.
He's really good throwing passes when there's no defense. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Mac
That's
Jones
it.
did it
That's it.
in championship games. Zach Wilson did it at BYU, and in his pro day was, oh my gosh, look at this throw. He did it with no defense. There was no defender. It was just a wide receiver running. And I'm gonna be honest, I think that's why he got drafted. Like I said earlier, the one game I watched, or I really sat and watched the full game, was the Coastal Carolina game, and he didn't
Yeah.
impress me. He couldn't win. So I would go Trevor Lawrence one still, just because I think Trevor Lawrence could still be still end up better than Mac. I will say this about Mac. He was put in a better situation than Trevor Lawrence. So that's
Yep.
the only reason. Like if Trevor
Yep.
Lawrence was put in New England, I think Trevor Lawrence would be having a lot of success as well. But
He'd be doing that. I think he'd be doing the same thing on
yeah,
third down, just
yeah,
like he was doing the. I think they have him calm down, just like Mac Curry defense. Trevor could do the same
yep,
thing.
yep,
Then this would probably be the difference. If he was on New England, he got legs.
yep,
So
yep,
Trevor can run a little bit. You know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So I feel you. And that's why I said Trevor looking good. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying, just like you said, the team that he on. You know what I'm saying, just they put more. They keep add more guys around. They got to attract more guys down
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who want to come to Jacksonville? Who want to turn it around? They're a few little pieces away because they could compete a little bit. Just how
They
the
are. Yeah.
season,
Their
the
defense.
season is so long. The season is so long. We're gonna talk about that in the next
Yeah.
quarter. The season is so long. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen.
Yep.
Anything can happen. You win this
100%.
game, and slide into the playoffs, and you shit. It's 0-0 then. 0-0.
Exactly. Exactly. Your records don't matter then. But a big thing, my issue, why did the NFL allow Belichick to get Mac Jones? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did the NFL allow that?
Oh
Like,
man, I don't
I
know. And like I saw one little post somebody said, "Oh, New England cheating again.
here they
They
come.
back, they back." I said, "Oh man, here y'all
Yep.
go, man." I said it looks crazy because how the way they started off is something clicked or something that they seen or something that he's seen in his players, especially on defense, just how they playing on D, man. It's lights out. It's like they know what you're doing. They got you off track. They beat Cleveland, but Cleveland got beat up.
Killed them.
Man,
They
like
were
I don't know
playing
what
with
was
them.
wrong with Cleveland. Yeah, like I don't know if it's just if you remove Chubb from it and they that bad. No, man, because they number 30 can do it too. You know what I'm saying? I've been
Yep.
watching they little YouTubes on YouTube, little Cleveland Brown thing. So they had a little special on that guy, but man, they got beat up, man, and that defense is playing Patriot football. Like I could imagine like the way they're playing right now. If they get this win, they 7-4, kicking off week 11 tonight, and it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy in the AFC. Watch out, Buffalo. Watch out.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I
hey,
think you
hey,
said that. Like,
New England, and my Cam Newton voice. They back.
yeah. No, for real. For real. And like you said earlier, like we were kind of angry that New England did what they did with Cam and didn't give him the starting spot. But for both sides, I think this, like you said before, for both sides, this was the best outcome.
Yep.
Cam would
It's the
much rather
best.
be in Carolina than New England as well.
Yep.
I think that's
Man,
his like that's where he did everything he's done.
like you said, it's about mental toughness going up there to New England. You have to be in that. That's why a lot of Alabama players go up there and they succeed because that's the type of mentality you got to have down here.
Alabama,
We didn't have that type of culture. We didn't have that culture when I was at Alabama, but we had a good coach, but we had that type of culture. As in, they take that right to the NFL to New England. That's
Bama now that's
Damon
NFL.
Harris is up there. Bama guys is up there. Dante Hightower, that's one guy who would have been up there his whole career. He didn't went up there and just he there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he just gets that championship mentality. Like, I imagine like a guy like that his career. Like, I just want people to understand, like, they're not going back down. I don't think New England going back down. They're going to continue to go up. So I think people every time a team get ready to strap it on to play for them. Atlanta, you up next. Let's see what y'all do. Y'all been playing good football also, man. Matty Ice. I think this my word, and we probably end this third quarter with this. Man, Matty Ice, man, you need to get out of there.
Yeah, that's like Stafford, in my opinion.
Yep.
Like, we know Matt Ryan. We know what Matt Ryan could do. But if Matt Ryan left Atlanta, I would like to see how people reacted, because when Stafford left, it was like Tom Brady was going to LA and that. If Stafford went to a team like, trying to think who's got a good offensive line, because LA's got a pretty good offensive line. If Matt Ryan went to a team with a good offensive line and weapons like the Rams had when they got Stafford, I think it will probably be better.
I think it'd be better too. I could imagine Matt Ryan in Dallas offense. You replace him and Dak. Imagine him in that Rams offense.
For 500 a game.
Imagine him in that Rams offense. Matty Ice do the play action and set up and got the big arm and all that. That's why I said, man, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like Matty Ice still in there doing his thing. Like I said, man, you need to get out. I feel like you need to get out of there, get on another team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And see what's going on. Real talk.
No, for real. But that is it for the third quarter. We'll be doing our last trivia question, then we'll be jumping into the fourth.
Boom, boom.
For our next and final trivia question of the day, who was the Ravens' first round pick in 2015? Like I said, it'll be easy, but some of you guys might know this just off the top of your head. Who was the Ravens' first round pick in 2015? So now we are jumping into the fourth quarter, baby. The fourth quarter. We're wrapping this thing up here. Baby. Yes, sir. The fourth quarter. But I'm gonna let LeBron start this one because he's got something he's got to say.
All right. We're gonna start this fourth quarter out, man. Talking a little, NFL, just everything that's going on in NFL. I just want to start off with a question to my guy, man. Who would you take first? I mean, well, if you was the GM right now, who would you take? Mahomes to run your team, or Dak, man? With the game of the week coming up, the Chiefs versus the Cowboys. Who would you take?
Oh my God, that's a tough one. I would definitely. Right now, just by what they've proven, overall, I would definitely probably have to say Mahomes, just because I could go against it. But based off of this season, like, we know how the NFL works. Like, when guys start going down, like, I'm not calling Mahomes average, but Mahomes is not what Mahomes was when he had that offensive line and when that team was clicking the way they were before. Like, this is new. Like, this is new, and a lot of people will be like, it's overreacting. So I'm not going to say Dak. But Dak is it's a very close question. And people will be like, well, you guys are overreacting because Mahomes had a couple bad games. What Mahomes has done this year has been not normal for him. And we're not going to sit there and baby him and say, all right, you know what? Because the first couple of weeks he played like that, I was like, all right, I was baby him. Like, all right, it's fine, whatever. But we're going to treat him how we treat everybody else. He's struggled, and he had his one good game against the Raiders, and he's back. He's not back. He almost lost to the Giants at home. He almost lost to Jordan Love at home. And you say quarterbacks aren't wins and losses. His offense scored 13 points against a Green Bay defense, who's played better as of late, but is not one of the top defenses in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. His offense scored 13 points against the Green Bay. If Aaron Rodgers plays, that's over.
Man, that's what I be saying. Like if I was looking on TV and I saw that question earlier. I said, I gotta ask my guy. And
who would you go with?
I said the only reason I'd probably take Mahomes too, and I had to get him the best QB coach there is, you know what I'm saying, so he can read them. Because when he start to understand like the coverages with that arm, he's gonna be dangerous because he can, you know what I'm saying, sidearm a few things, do a few things, you know what I'm saying, just with his athletic ability. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But with Dak just a quarterback with a quarterback that a pro style quarterback with legs
Yeah.
that can do it also. And I love the way that, you know what I'm saying, that offensive coordinator got their offense flowing and got them rolling, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. It's gonna be a tough little matchup for them this week, you know what I'm saying? And a good thing to see if the Chiefs are back for real, like everybody's saying that, like you just said, they played the Raiders. Raiders going through so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
Fact.
you know, the thing that happened to Ruggs, and they
Yep.
came back and won. Then, woo, they got demolished by the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? In the division game, I thought they would have came out a little bit
Ready to
better.
go. Yeah.
You know, yeah, ready to go to that. But you know what I'm saying? I know Versace probably got on them in that locker room. I hope they bounce back, man. The Raiders going through a lot over there, man.
Yeah. It's being in Las Vegas, like the fact that Versace has won a game off of everything that happened, because the Ruggs incident happened, just terrible. Then,
That's man, Ruggs, man. I prayers up. I think her name was Tina.
yeah,
May she rest in power, man. Prayers up for her and her family. You know what I'm saying? And her dog that you know what I'm saying died in the thing. I hate that everybody was like, oh, we don't want to feel sorry. It's not the point of like Carr said. It's not the point of we're not feeling sorry for us because we don't condone anything that he did,
right,
because like, it was easy. Like, man, I'm calling the Uber, man. If
right,
I'm next to him, I'm grabbing his keys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the right thing to do.
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? We don't condone none of that. But that's another thing. I just knew as soon as I heard it, I ain't even want to watch. I ain't want to watch nothing like that. Not
No,
even
yeah.
watch the news, bro. And like as soon as I heard a couple hours later they released him, you know what I'm saying? I said, oh my God, that's something else
It's
for him.
over.
And then now, if you heard this, Gruden came out and he just sued the NFL and Roger Goodell for the emails. It's
We
$650,000.
called it.
I think they need to leak all on. We called it.
Yep. Yep.
Telling you, Dan Snyder, his homeboy, I think his partner, when the pressure got on him, because like they swept that under the rug.
Yep.
They swept that under the rug. So
That was
like,
their out. That was their out. They threw that out there and they said, all right, this is gonna be big. It was big news for a couple weeks, but people like us are like, can we see the Washington football team? Because the stuff that we've already seen is disgusting. And then we haven't even seen the big portion. And Gruden, who's coming out soon in the NFL, has even said, I want everything out. I want everything out because you guys are coming for me. Imagine what's going on there.
650,000 emails exchanged between them folks, man, and they just also Grooms just leaked like he was a sacrifice, like we said on the thing. He's a sacrifice for them, and they got to come clean, bro. Though I said eventually everything gonna come to glass. I just pray that they just got their tails protected, man, because everything gonna come to glass in a minute, and I don't think Groom go stop either. I don't think he gonna stop until you know what I'm saying he win, because it's so crazy. I thought so highly of my man, but him talking like that, like we talked about on our show before, him talking like that was just terrible, man. Like they just put it like a little curse. It's like a little curse around the Raiders now, man. Like I thought when they won that game after the rug situation, I said, okay, Sachi got them right. Then just going into the division game, they just weren't ready. Like or the Chiefs just had their number. The Chiefs came in with a different game plan. They had their number, and you know, Mahomes he looked great, 5 touchdowns, man. He's like, oh, he back. But we'll see this week. We'll see this week versus them Cowboys, because the Cowboys looking good on offense and defense.
Yeah, this week there's some big games to look at, but that Cowboys Chiefs game, if the Chiefs lose that, they'll go to 6-5. They still got a good shot at making the playoffs because that's how the NFL's been. But if the Chiefs lose the Cowboys at home, that'd be pitiful for being if I were a Chiefs fan. Because coming into this year, you looked at if I was a Chiefs fan and looking at the season how we've had, this game right here is make or break. Because if you beat Dallas, who's 7-2 at home, then you might think, all right, we actually might be back. But if you lose, that's just a setback, and it's, oh my gosh, we can't beat. We are struggling with the worst NFC East teams, and we can't even beat the best one. and we're supposed to be the best team in the NFL. You know, like
you in the AFC, it just how the season go. You wouldn't even thought, like you said, the Ravens going down there and losing that Thursday night game against the Miami Air. I know everybody bet with the Ravens. I know I would have. They came in, they got blew out. With like we was talking about earlier. If people look at our shows earlier, man, I even talked about that. If I had the Browns quietly one of the best teams in the AFC, like the Browns. Like on paper, you had them the Browns. I even had the Chargers up there. The Chargers started slow, but you can see the Chargers, they can't stop a nosebleed against the run. Like they get ran all over. You know, everything is different. And that comes to the point I wanted to ask you how you feel about the NFC West. You know, we had the NFC West high on the thing. After Russell Wilson got hurt, everybody got hurt.
Everybody. The 49ers, I'll say this. Looking at the teams in the NFC West, if the 49ers can continue to utilize Deebo Samuel the way they're utilizing him, they got a shot at making a comeback. Deebo Samuel is so talented. Like, I was watching him play. Yeah. The way they're using him, beautiful. Shanahan has struggled a ton this year with a lot of stuff, but the way that they're using Deebo Samuel is one of a kind. I think the 49ers have I'll say this. I think the 49ers have a better chance at making the playoffs than the Seahawks do, even with Russ back. Just because, and before the year, I said the opposite. Before the year, I said the 49ers would be the only team who didn't make the playoffs. And the 49ers have really struggled, and I might be overreacting off of one game, but the way that they made the Rams look was like, I've never seen it.
The physicality of the game, the fullback, Juice out there, you know what I'm saying? Out there busting and they hitting vomit, they're making vomit. I was like, man, the Rams really cannot stop the run. And what's wrong with Stafford? Like, and then it's so crazy. It's like, I saw a tape, Troy Aikman go say, I think Matt Stafford has the thing. He feeling like Baker Mayfield. He having to force the ball to Odell. Odell played 14 snaps, Troy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like, I see exactly what you're talking about.
Like, come on, man. You can't blame his struggles on what you blame his struggles in Detroit on Megatron.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? On Marvin Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like they move. It's like it's different. It's different out here. Like you started good. Like you got to finish strong. People catch on, man. The season is different. Don't make excuses for my guy. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I'm asking this question again. This another quarterback question. Who would you take? Who would you take, Stafford or Matty Ice?
True. I'm taking Matty Ice. Taking Matty Ice. Everybody will
prove killer in the playoffs.
Yes, 100%. Stamped. That's what it is, and everybody will disagree with it, and everybody will say, "Oh my gosh, terrible take." One of them has been to a Super Bowl. One of them has not.
And the one that was in the Super Bowl should have had it if the coordinator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just do his right thing. Like Matt, I know Matty Ice got a lot of bad yards. Stafford do too. Like,
exactly.
Yards and stuff like that. You know, so we got to see the heat is on. They can't blame it on Odell. That was a great pickup for them. I'm happy for Odell too. Shout out to Odell getting picked up by the Rams. That was a great pickup for them. I'm glad he got out of Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said time's gonna reveal a lot of people, and you can see how stuff is happening to them Browns, especially Baker. Like how Baker is. Like, I just don't like the arrogance. Like, you just a elite quarterback and Odell just not that guy. Like, come on, man. And that's why I said I hope we go to the Rams and like do his thing. And like, man, I hate Robert Woods, man. Shout out to him, man. Prayers up for him. I hate he went down. You know what I'm saying, for the offense. But you know what I'm saying, Odell stepped right in. Like, step right in. Got a full week of practice, man. Let's see how this thing. Let's see how this thing finish up. It's gonna be an interesting season, boss. I tell you that, man.
Yes, it will. Interesting. It's up in the air. I really don't have a favorite.
Yeah. So that why I said I ain't got no favorite either. Like, who you think? I'm gonna ask you this, and we can end it on this. Who your hottest AFC team? Who your hottest NFC team right now at the midpoint?
Everybody in the world probably for the AFC will say the Titans, but I don't believe it because Derrick Henry's out. The Rock's out. So I can't go with the Titans, but they are on paper and how it's looked the best. I'll go in the AFC, and this is a stretch. I'll go the Bills, even though they lost 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago to the Jaguars. But I'll go to the Bills just because I think they're proven a little bit. But the Bills, the Ravens are right next to the Bills. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
They'll say I'm
Okay.
biased, but they are.
What's your NFC?
NFC's Packers. I got to go to Packers. Yeah, I'm going to go to the
Okay.
Packers. And at the beginning of the season, I remember I had them versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Cowboys are a close second, but I had the Packers versus the Packers versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl. And I remember after week 1, Packers got blown out by the Saints and the Ravens lost in Las Vegas. And I said, oh my God, my picks are dead. And now it's starting to come right again now. Packers are sitting at 8-2. They got a shot. Like it might be on. I don't know.
Should be 9-1. Should be 9-1 if Aaron play.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like my NFC team, just the hot one, just how I go be. If how Aaron is, bro, is the Packers.
Right.
It's the Packers, man. And I had like the Rams and the Cardinals, but I gotta push Dallas up there a little bit with a close second behind the NFC, and that'll tell this week if they come out swinging against, you know what I'm saying, KC. And the AFC, man, right now my top, and people might say, oh, you just, man, they're a little biased. I gotta put the Ravens. We played on the short week. I gotta see how we come out swinging, swinging this next week in this next game. See how Lamar coming out. See how we play. You know what I'm saying? Our next game up, because I got the Ravens still the hottest team in the AFC, just because all the energy that we had. And with everything that's going on close behind them, if they get this win tonight, the Patriots with their defense, can't count out Belichick. He got
in the playoffs.
I don't know what he figured. I don't know what they figured out in these past 4 weeks to outscore their opponents 150 to 50. Yeah,
it's different.
I better watch out for them Patriots, man. I can't wait to see that game tonight, man. We gotta tweet live. We gotta tweet
live.
Well,
I'm going live tonight. I'm telling you all that now. I'm gonna be live tweeting tonight. And before we wrap this up, on Sunday we will be going live. We haven't went live since like one of the early weeks in the season, but we're gonna be bringing it back. Give our predictions and do some stuff like that. And we'll have some giveaways coming out soon. Tell you all that now. But yeah, like I said, we're going live on Sunday and be on the lookout for some giveaways we're gonna be doing on Twitter.
Man, check us out. Please check us out. Follow us on all platforms, man. Happy to be back. Episode 11. Y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Check us out, the Alpha Mercy Podcast, man. We about to be live on Apple Podcasts and Spotify soon. Man, y'all just check us out, man. We got the gear coming. Y'all see us in the gear. You know what I'm saying? Hoodies, tees. We're going to have the snapbacks and all that, man. But, hey, man, we appreciate everybody that have subscribed to our page so far. Man, we're going to be bringing y'all this content, man, each and every week, man. Yes, Ben, it's good to be back, man. Good to see you.
Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir. You too, baby.
He's a pound, baby. Yes, sir. I form.